Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. It is raining in Norwich, so it has almost become evening time. Great to see you all. Welcome to our lectures, third and fourth. Great to see you all. So here is the QR code. Please register your attendance, okay? So let us start. Welcome to our lecture, everyone. Again, great to see you all. Let me start our let us start our lecture. Let us kick start it. So today, what we will do is the following. Welcome to lectures 3 and 4. We are going to discuss a little bit about disruption and change today. Everything is being disrupted. How can you survive and thrive in such an environment? We will also have soft skills workshop, and we will also think a little bit about your dream job, CVs, and cover letters. I start with a hackathon, which means I will be sharing interesting things that I have stumbled upon, learned this week. But here are the big questions for you. Are you learning new, exciting, and fresh things every week? And how can you ensure that you are learning, pushing yourself, pushing your brain every day? Those are the two big questions that we need to be aware of. Today's key message is the following: disrupt yourself or get disrupted. So we live in an age of disruption. In order to survive and thrive, we need to get anti-fragile. We need to be very innovative and creative. And a good metaphor for this is Banksy.
And with commission, that's more than £1 million. This is one of Banksy's most iconic pieces. But just moments later, it seemed to drop through the frame and appear shredded into pieces. A stunt that sent gasps through the crowd. Reaction to last night's self-destruction was captured on camera by this artist.
We were there, and then there was the auction, and then suddenly everything was, people are laughing and joking and looking around, turning like something happened or something fell down. Everybody didn't believe that it was real, and that was the great thing, that we came out thinking it's a joke.
So what happens is he shreds the painting in the middle of the auction.
That we came out thinking it's a joke.
Banksy first started out with a series of graffiti pieces on buildings across the country and is well known for his stunts. In 2013, he set up a stall selling what appeared to be fake Banksys for $60. It was later revealed they were the real deal and worth up to £20,000 each. In the early hours of this morning, he posted a picture of his latest stunts on Instagram, writing, "Going, going, gone."
I think he was there. I know he was there. We artists, we feel each other's, we feel the vibration. I think he was there, and he was laughing.
Well, we don't know who filmed this. Was it Banksy himself? Perhaps the latest twist in the tale of street art's most subversive character. Helen Keenan, ITV News.
So I think this is a good metaphor for this destruction and disruption. We can say that this is evidence that disruption is a key part of your creativity. We need to disrupt ourselves in order to be more creative. That means we need to get out of the rut and explore new territories and scare ourselves every day. And there is a lot to learn from Banksy in these regards. And you can check out the links to learn more. Another trailer on creativity and disruption is this documentary titled Art and Copy.
The frightening and most difficult thing about being what somebody calls a creative person is that you have absolutely no idea where any of your thoughts come from, really. And especially if you don't have any idea about where they're going to come from tomorrow.
Absolutely do not. Put that commercial in the air. This is the devil's workshop. Get that commercial off the air. People went crazy. Did you see that thing? Oh, by the way, I'll take it. This was on. I'm getting thousands of phone calls. I got you. I got you by the balls. That's advertising, baby. I always thought that advertising was the most whorish business a person could get into.
Advertising makes food taste better. It makes cars run better. It changes the perception of everything.
What you do is manufacture any feeling you want to manufacture.
I think many times what they're buying is what they wish their lives would be.
I guess I understand why people trash advertising, because a lot of advertising is trashy. You can do so much more.
There are a lot of people in this business, but damn few really good ones.
Creative people rise up. They can't do shit unless we make ads for them. We should be in charge.
I hated the system. I hated the status quo. Advertising should be statements about what the hell you think that life should be about.
All they care about is milking money out of clients. How big do you want the logo, sir? You can be more than just a car company, more than just a pet food company.
You can speak honestly and use this profession to do that. Weird shit can happen.
I think creativity can solve anything. Anything. I can get excited about selling a new kind of pen. Wow, look at that pen. Yeah, it's a little this, it's a little this. Wow, that's sensitive. Let me sell that mother.
Okay, so this is a great documentary. You can find it on YouTube. But that advertising guru in the video that you have seen has come up with a great campaign. And it is, I think, a great example for creativity and disruption. Here is your puzzle. Nobody knows who Tommy Hilfiger is. This is 1990s, okay? And you want to let everyone know that he is a great designer. How do you do that in 1 week? You have just 1 week. You can use the magic of advertising. So you will use the magic of advertising. Nobody knows who Tommy Hilfiger is. How do you do that? So this advertising guru came up with this billboard. So this was a big billboard, and this was hung all over the newspapers and all over the cities in the United States. So as you can see, this is a puzzle. Our brain loves puzzles. Our brains really want to solve puzzles. Here is the puzzle. The 4 great American designers for men are, try to guess. I'm sure you guessed. Ralph Lauren is number 1. Yeah. Perellis, Calvin Klein. So these 3 are known really well, but they have added a 4th one, who is Tommy Hilfiger. So these 3 figures are already known. The 4th one is the next. Okay, so this is how you solve a creativity problem using the power of magic of advertising, and you appeal to interests of masses. So I have a few more puzzles. Don't look at the answers and try to guess them. Okay, 3 small puzzles for you. I want you to guess them. So here's the first one. Fortune 500 companies in 1955 versus 2014. What percentage of them are still on the list? Do you have any guesses? What percentage of them are on the list? Do you have any guesses? You can write from the chat box if you have any guesses. What percentage do you think are still on the list? Okay, 20%, 1 to 3%. Okay, let's see. Let's see the correct answer. So 11% are on the list. Only 11%, that means 89% are gone from the list. So you see that disruption is a big deal. The second question, guess the average age of a company listed on Standard & Poor's 500 during 1920s versus right now. So what was the average age during 1920s versus right now? How did it change? I mean, you can guess that the average age got shorter, right? There is acceleration, there is creative destruction. So the average age, it is bound to be shorter, right? So in 1920s, the average age was 67 years old. So a company that was listed on the Standard & Poor's list was on average 67 years old. That means a lot of companies were on that list for a long time. But now this age is just 15 years only. So, and it keeps dropping. So I think it will be as low as 10 years. In a few years, it will be 10 years or even less than 10 years. So this shows us the power of disruption. If you cannot innovate fast, you will be gone, really, in this era. The last question. In 2028, what percentage of Standard & Poor's 500 companies will stay on the current list? Do you have any guesses or estimates? So it is just a couple of years, 8 years from now. Do you have any guesses? Don't look at the answers. And try to guess right from the chat box. Okay, 10, 25, okay, 15, okay, cool, 12, 5. Okay, let's see the answer. But like, keep in mind that this is a very short amount of time. So I think, like, normally I thought that the great majority would be staying, because it is just 8 years. Come on. So here is the answer. 40% of all the companies will disappear from the list, and 60% are expected to survive the list. Although this figure might fall even more radically in the upcoming years. So still more than half will be surviving because the time frame is so short. But still, even though the time frame is just 8 years, you can see that 40% of all the companies, they will become irrelevant. They will drop from the list. So all of these say that the times are changing very fast, and so should you. I wrote an article about this. You can access, by the way, you can access all the slides. If you click on lectures, fall 2020, you can find all your slides. You can download them, okay? And you can click on the links. So I have written an article on how you should dance, improvise, adapt, and fly in these new circumstances. You can click on the link to learn more about being innovative and disruptive in this age. Okay. So the big questions again are you learning new and fresh things every week? And how do you make sure that you are pushing yourself and your brain every day? So the core message today that I want to give you is this: the world is changing really fast, and you need to learn, reinvent yourself, disrupt yourself every day. That means you need to scare yourself every day. That's the only way forward. So that is the core message of today. Disrupt yourself or get disrupted. Here's a great book on this, The Black Swan. Nassim Nicholas Taleb wrote this bestseller, The Black Swan. Even though, like, at some point, people did not believe in black swans because they were so rare. Yet, we now know that black swans do exist. So these black swans are unexpected, events that nobody has been able to predict. Yet, nevertheless, they occur. And they occur really frequently. For example, Trump's presidential election. Trump has been elected as president 4 years ago, right? And that is a black swan event. Another black swan event is Brexit. Nobody was expecting that Brexit would happen a few years ago. Yet it did happen. Another example is the coronavirus situation that we are experiencing right now. Still, every one of us, we are locked down in our homes. We cannot come together still. So nobody would have expected such a big crisis and such a big lockdown and coronavirus and such a big disruption and depression, economic depression. So how do we become more anti-fragile? We need to be more ready for these black swan events, really. And in the book, Nassim Nicholas Taleb says we need to become anti-fragile. Yes, the 3 most harmful addictions are heroin, carbohydrates, and the monthly salary. So he has these great words, quotes. I think this is very remarkable. You cannot become addicted to these. You have to think like an entrepreneur. Thinking and acting like an entrepreneur makes you more anti-fragile. You can then survive better, thrive better in this era. So let's think about our careers. If we think that your career is a wicked problem, how can you cope? Let's think about that. I want you to take some notes about this and create some ideas. Look at the problem. What are wicked problems? Wicked problems are really complex problems. They are not easy to solve. And there are a great deal of unknowns. You cannot foresee. There is too much unknown. How do you cope with that? Think about your career. You are unique. Your career situation is unique. You can never completely solve it. There are no clear definitions. There are so many unknowns, multiple stakeholders. It is a cross-disciplinary problem. There is no one right answer. So, and it takes a lot of experimentation to solve it. So how do you cope? Given that, we are in the midst of this major economic depression and youth careers, young people's careers are declining because of all this uncertainty. How do you cope with this? So here's my answer. Number 1, don't settle with the easiest and most convenient option available to you. Go beyond. Number 2, you need to cultivate a lot of diverse seeds, projects, experimentations, and see which options have more potential. So think of yourselves as a farmer. How can I grow many career opportunities? Think each project as an investment and try to cultivate a lot of diverse projects. Then you will become much more anti-fragile. And the last one, be prepared for uncertainty and try to develop your resilience, resourcefulness, entrepreneurship, and creativity skills. If you develop these early on, then you will become more indispensable. Organizations will try to work with you, and you will become much more adaptive and creative. Think about how you can implement these. In your notebooks, please take some notes. What kind of small actions can you take to make this happen? Please create your own sentences, action points right now. In the next 30 seconds, write them down. What should you do? How can you start? Remember that you can start small. What can you do tonight, even this evening? What can you do this weekend? Think of some small action points, please, and write them down. And only you know your situation. Therefore, only you can come up with solutions. What could be some solutions that can work for you? And remember, you can start small. What are some small action points? Write them down, please, in the next 30 seconds. What should you do this weekend? Okay, please carry out these action points. However small they are, please try to implement them. If you have time after our lecture today, do them this evening. Don't leave it until tomorrow. Whatever you want to do in your career, do them right now. Take a small action right away. So we need to have a growth mindset to survive and thrive in this environment. Carol Dweck has written a great book about this. If you want to become anti-fragile, if you want to continuously grow, you need to embrace challenges, persist in the face of obstacles, and see efforts as the path to mastery. Learn from criticisms and find inspiration in the success of others. So turn everything into learning and development. That's the key here. You can grow, learn from everything and anything in your life. Here are the new 14 new rules for your career success. I want you to look at this list now. In the next 1 minute, please choose top 5 of these. Which ones are most relevant to you? Choose the top 5 and then create some small ideas. What should you do? So what? I want you to choose top 5 most relevant ones and then come up with 3 action points. What should you do next? If these are the new career rules, new rules for career success, what should you do? Please choose 5 of them and then come up with 3 small action points. Try to keep writing. Your learning will be much more effective if you just keep a notebook and keep notes. Whenever you are learning something fresh, new, always create your own ideas. Try to own these ideas. How can I own them? Perhaps you can paraphrase some of these. How can you interpret these? Do you agree? If you don't agree, you might also disagree. But come up with your own sentence then. Come up with your own actions then. And please take notes. Make it relevant and customized to yourself. And always take notes. Keep taking notes, please. Your hands should always be moving. Then you will learn much faster and you will remember what you learned because you own it. You develop it through your own effort. That's how best learning occurs. If you own it, if you put efforts into that. So if you paraphrase some of these, if you think of some action points, write them down, you will learn much faster. Try to wrap it up, please. Okay, let me continue. You can always continue at home. This is a book that I recommend that you read or learn more about. If you want to get rich, this is one of the best classic books on how to become rich. The title of this book is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Kiyosaki. This is a classic, one of the best sellers on becoming rich. And they also have a cash flow game. So here is the core message of the book. If you want to get rich, you should jump from the employee and self-employed side to the other side. E and S side is the active income side. You need to jump from E and S side in the long term. You need to jump to the other side, which is the B and I side. So you need to shift from becoming an employee or self-employed to you need to become business owners or investors. Okay, so if you're an employee, you have a job, but you have no leverage. Your time is your money. And you have to keep working in order to receive your salary. The same with self-employed. You have no leverage. And you have to work actively all the time, otherwise you won't have any income. And that's a trap. You need to avoid these traps. You need to jump to the other side if you want to get rich. That means you need to create assets. The best way to jump to the other side is to create your own assets. You either want to become a business owner, that means you are owning a system, you have the leverage, your income is dependent on your passive income. That means you don't have to do anything. You establish a system, and that system prints you money almost, because you are creating enormous value as a business owner. You are creating enormous value if you jump to the other side through entrepreneurship and create value for others. Then you own a system. You have your own assets, and these assets in the long term, if you play a long-term game, these assets will give you a lot of money and passive income in the future, and you want that. And you also want to own investments. Investments are also great assets. And the great paradox is that 95% of the population is on the employee and self-employed side. So the world population, 95% are on the employee side or self-employed side. They are 95% of the world population, but they own only 5% of the world's wealth. So this explains all the basis of inequality in the world. If you want to jump to the other side, you need to start creating your own assets. You need to start creating value. You need to start creating a business system and investments. Okay? And that's a big game. That's a long-term game. And you will do this incrementally through small steps, small action. And I will tell you more about how to do that in this module. Okay? So let's talk. Let me tell you a little bit about disruption. All these companies, today's biggest innovators, Uber. Uber is world's largest taxi company. They own no taxes at all, zero taxes. Airbnb, they are the world's largest hotel, yet they own no hotels. Right? Netflix, the world's largest movie house, yet they own no cinemas. So have you detected a pattern? All these companies are really, they don't own anything. They just have amazing ideas, fascinating systems. They create enormous value. Another figure on disruption, and this is shocking. Look at the picture. All of these brands, they did not exist in 2007. None of these existed in 2007. Instagram, Snapchat, Airbnb, WhatsApp, Pinterest, Spotify, Tesla, 4G, blockchain, Android, Slack, none of these, Bitcoin, none of them existed in 2007. So think about 2027, a few years from now. We can guarantee that there will be new innovations like these ones, exciting innovations in the next decade. Let's say, think about in the next 10 years until 2030. There will be a lot of new innovations, new brands, disruptors. Perhaps you will be some of these disruptors. You will create or play a role in some of these innovations. What could they be? I want you to imagine. In the next decade, there will be some significant innovations, disruptions in the world. How can you play a role? Can you become an inventor? Can you create something new? Can you become a disruptor? Can you act like an entrepreneur? What could be some of the new innovations that only you can think of? So you need to give yourself, your brain, this problem and try to solve this problem. Where are the opportunities? How is the world changing? How can I be on top of these world trends and changes? How can I create enormous value in the next decade? If you start right now through small actions, in 1 decade, you can create enormous innovations. You can act as an entrepreneur. I want you to brainstorm. So write down some ideas. What could be some of the opportunities, innovations you can create? Please take some notes. Keep writing. What can you do? The problem when you are starting to think about this is that your brain immediately shuts down and judges your ideas. Let's say, this is ridiculous. They have already invented this. Many people have thought better ideas than mine. You know, there are many geniuses, entrepreneurs out there. You know, this is rubbish, this is garbage, etc. All this negative thinking on your brain, you need to stop that. And another strategy, you need to create a lot of ideas. Originality comes from the volume of your ideas. So give this as a problem to your brain, and then throughout the weekend, create 50 ideas, 100 ideas. Force yourself to generate a huge volume of ideas. Then you will become much more robust. Make it try to create 50 ideas every day. Give your brain some problems that you really want to solve, and then create hundreds of ideas. That's the best way how innovation occurs. So you need to change your inner conversation with yourself. You need to tell yourself, I am creative. I am innovative. I will start right now, today. I will read more. I will learn more. And I will come up with a lot of creative ideas. If you do that, you will change the wiring of your brain. You can change it. Okay? And I want you to change it. You are all creative. I want you to find your creative voice in this module. Let's look at top 15 global brands. As you can see, Coca-Cola, Microsoft, IBM, and General Electric, they were at the top for a long time. Toyota is rising, as you can see. Google is rising really fast, as you can see. Google is rising very fast. and it has become one of the top companies. Apple is rising even faster, as you can see, and Apple surpasses Google and becomes number one. As you see, Google becomes number two, and traditional brands, Coca-Cola, IBM, they are declining. Yeah, technology brands are dominating. You see the rise of Amazon, very fast rising of Amazon, and Amazon becomes number three. And right now, Amazon is number one even. Okay, so there's a huge change, as you can see. And you can see the rate of disruption. Everything is moving really fast. CNBC comes up Disruptor 50 list every year. This year, let's look at the top 5 companies.
On to this year's list. Julia.
Good morning to you, Andrew. Well, this year's list was drawn from more than 1,300 nominees calculated based on a mix of quantitative and qualitative. Number 5, Klarna. The online payment company offers short-term credit to shoppers at more than 200,000 e-tailers.
Klarna payment system. It's one of the unicorns.
Become one of Europe's largest banks.
If we can play a part in disrupting this industry and actually driving what we found by giving consumers a better offer, that I think we have something great.
Number 4, Coursera. Demand soared for this online.
Coursera, online learning company. You know, there are many free courses, massive online open courses here. As everybody is locked down because of coronavirus, everybody is checking these online courses.
Learning pioneer when COVID-19 hit and remote learning became the only option. Number 3, Indigo Agriculture. On a mission to fight climate change and secure the world's food supply. Its Terraton initiative pays farmers to enrich their soil with carbon. One of South Korea.
Can even flip that around and make farming carbon positive. So start to be part of the solution.
Number 2, Coupang. The Amazon of South Korea with a few twists, including reusable packaging and dawn delivery. It's promised to deliver orders placed before midnight by 7 a.m. the next day.
So Coupang became one of Amazon's biggest competitors, although it's a small startup.
And number 1, Stripe. If you're buying just about anything online, Stripe is likely helping with the payment. Partner.
And Stripe, what is unique about Stripe is 2 Irish brothers established it. And they came up with 7 lines of code, and they simplified the payment structures tremendously. They added huge value, and they became one of the most valuable companies in the world. And they are still in their 20s. So if you are really young, you can become a disruptor. You can create your own company.
Range from Amazon to Zoom Video. The world's highest valued fintech company is backed by all-star investors, including Andreessen Horowitz, Peter Thiel, and Elon Musk. The company committed to remote work more than a year ago, hiring over 100 engineers with home as their home base. So it's been able to handle surging demand as all of its employees now work from home.
The trends that you're seeing that emerged on this year's list relative to last year's list.
Well, we saw more fintech than ever. There were 12 fintech companies, 5 of which were focused just on payments. Of course, we had Stripe in the number 1 spot. And also, as we focus more on the trends that are accelerated by the pandemic, we saw healthcare and logistics. And then in terms of the underlying technology this year, huge emphasis on machine learning and artificial intelligence.
As you can see, these are the huge trends of this year. Fintech is rising, logistics is rising, and healthcare is rising, all due to pandemic. And artificial intelligence revolution is just starting. So let's look at some of these disruptor companies. These were not this year's, but last year's. You can check this year's as well in the link provided. So SpaceX, Uber, Airbnb, Lyft, as you see, Udacity, Rent the Runway, Coins, all these are SurveyMonkey, WeWork, Indigo Agriculture. All of these are new unicorns. And you can see more disruptor companies here. Duolingo, language company, Pinterest, Coursera. You can see that these are some of the most innovative companies of our times. So these startups identify new niches, and they have the potential to become billion-dollar businesses. There were 36 disruptors in 2020. They were all unicorn. That means they have surpassed the billion-dollar mark, and they started from zero. They have raised 74 billion in venture capital, and their value is more than 277 billion right now. So all their innovations in artificial intelligence, machine learning, drones, genes, they are changing our worlds. Of course, with all these disruptive times, one of the challenges is to keep up. And I'm doing a research project on this, and I want to share this project with you as well. It is called FONKU, fear of not keeping up. Fear of not keeping up. So if you are constantly anxious about not learning enough, not adapting enough, not being able to keep up, welcome to the club. That is called, and I named this, fear of not keeping up, and I try to interview and learn from managers about what this is and how they are trying to keep up. Okay, so you can click on the link to learn more about FONKU. I have written an article about it, okay? And you click on the link. Okay, now the next part is your dream job. I want you to think about your dream job now and which job you will be applying for. So this, according to job characteristics model, if you want to grow and be motivated, you need to have these factors. You need to have meaningfulness at work. You need to experience some responsibility and autonomy. And you need to have actual feedback. You need to know how you are doing. So think about your workplace, ideal workplace. Perhaps some of these innovative workplaces or disruptors, where will you be kickstarting your career? Where can you have fun? Can you be creative in this company? Can you have some freedom and flexibility, autonomy, responsibility? Which companies are out there that are ideal? Think about that, and I want you to choose your job that you will be applying for as part of your coursework. So you will be applying for a job, an entry-level job. This should be a real job that you want to apply in the upcoming weeks or months. So you need to find a real job advertisement and attach it at the top of your coursework. And you need to customize for this job advertisement. So therefore, I want you to think about your dream job and come up with a list of top 3 best companies and write them down, please. In the next 30 seconds, please write down your top preferred companies. Which companies are your top 3 companies that you want to work for? What are they? Write them down, please. And what kind of a job? Think about which department, what kind of a job. And take notes. Think about 3 organizations. Please take notes. Come up with 3 companies. Think about departments as well. What type of jobs do you want? What type of departments? Make a list. And why do you want these companies? Think about that. I want you to interact in groups. You will be working in groups of 4. Be ready for discussion. Which ones are your dream companies, dream jobs? Think about top 3 and why. Be ready to discuss with your team members. Make notes. What could be your talking points? Okay, are you ready? Let's start our teamwork. You'll have about 5 minutes to do this, okay? try to wrap up your discussions, please. Okay, let us go back to the main room now and continue to the next section. So thanks a lot for your contributions. I would like to thank in particular groups 2 and 10. There were really like good discussions in groups 2 and 10. Thank you for your contributions. Okay, now I would like to point to a workshop. You will do this at home. By the way, in the announcement, remember that I wanted you to update, choose your job advertisement and update your CV for this Friday. But I know that some of your friends, some of the students said that they didn't have enough time to prepare for it. So we will do this next week. Okay, try to prepare your CV and cover letter for next week. Please choose your job advertisement. So you one more week to prepare your CV and cover letter. Again, you won't be submitting this until November 12th, but still, it would be great if you could start, because we are building up our portfolios right now, right away, right? Please choose your job, choose your ideal job, make your decision, choose a job advertisement. It should be a real job advertisement. Put that job advertisement, copy and paste it at the top of your portfolio. And then please come up with your CV and cover letter. So this is the CV guide. I have written an article on how to make your CV outstanding. If you click on the link here, you will access this article. I have written a guide for you, how to make your CV outstanding. Please make sure that you read this article, and please also make sure that you update your CV and customize it for the job that you will be choosing. Okay, so please choose your job and update your CV. If you need guidance, you can also contact the Career Center, get their help. But make sure that you have your CV and cover letter ready, updated by next week. Okay, that will give you more time for the other parts of your portfolio. So let's try to do this until next Friday. So nearly half of British workers can't write a standout CV. And 98% of recruiters believe that CVs are still very important. So you need to come up with an impressive CV. That's very critical. And you need to be very proactive and persistent in your job applications. It's not easy to find a job these days. The jobs are all in decline. There is too much competition. So you need to think like an entrepreneur, and you need to be resilient in order to survive and thrive in these times. So always ensure that your marketing toolkit is up to date. That means your CV and your cover letter. And also, if you don't have your LinkedIn profile, please create your LinkedIn profile. Please make sure that it is also updated. So my experience, it is very frustrating. The whole job application experience can be frustrating. Sometimes you will send out CVs, applications, you will hear nothing. And it will be really hard, but you should start early on. That's why you should start early on. So you need to make a good assessment of yourself. Don't blame the market for not wanting your skills. Repackage your experiences into something that the market will want. So you need to be really adaptive and resilient and persistent. Don't give up, even if you get multiple rejections or you don't hear from them. Learn from all these rejections. If they don't kill you, they will make you stronger. Okay, so, and don't worry if you don't get a response, follow up, then move on. Revise your job application until you feel sure that it is updated, customized, and good fit for the job. The fit between your skills and the position requirements is hugely important. And this will be 5% of your grade in the portfolio on November 12th. Okay, so make sure that you emphasize the fit between your skills, your CV, your cover letter, and the job advertisement. One of the best ways to boost up your CV is doing voluntary work. So if you don't have volunteering experiences, please make sure that you do some volunteering to add up to your CV. More than half of job applicants in the UK have carried some form of volunteer work, but only 8% mention them on their CV. This is very low. Always make sure that you mention all the volunteer work you have done, even if it is for 1 day or 2 days. Okay, make sure that you mention it really well. What were your responsibilities? What have you achieved? And if you don't have volunteer experience, please do some volunteering as soon as you can and add it to your CV. Okay. Top 10 things to remove from your CV. This is based on research again. Please remove these. Okay. Photos, jargon, generic hobbies. Hobbies should be focused. Don't say just reading or cinema. What type of reading? What type of cinema? It should be updated. No big words without evidence. Whenever you emphasize some skills, always support them with evidence. Grades, again, if you have university grades, which are really great grades, then you can mention maybe them, but don't mention your high school grades, okay? No acronyms, again. Social media links, this is controversial. You can include it, I think. I mean, there's no problem with that. Some people think that it shouldn't be included, but I think that you can include. Okay, make sure that you don't have any blunders or typos. So these are some of the real job applications. And as you can see, I mean, they were instantly eliminated. You need to be really careful, and there shouldn't be any typos on your CV. Recruiters are looking through hundreds of CVs. Remember that. You don't have any luxury of any mistakes. There shouldn't be any typos, any mistakes. Make sure you show your CV to a couple of your friends or professionals or your networks, okay? Make sure that you ask feedback, get feedback, incorporate them. There shouldn't be any mistakes like this. Here is another strategy. You can come up with radical methods. This guy came up with a donut CV. He acted as a delivery guy. Most resumes end up in trash. Mine will end up in your belly. Hi, this delivery is not a mistake. I pretended to be a delivery guy to ensure my resume was delivered to you personally. As you noticed, I approach things in a different way. I like to get them done. My name is Lucas. I'm a marketing guy with 5 years of experience. I admire your company. I'd love to work with you. If I spiked your curiosity, you can reach me here. For the time being, please enjoy these magnificent and famous donuts. Okay, so this was all on the news. Why? He landed about 10 interviews with top agencies. He delivered 15 boxes, I think. And out of those 15 boxes, he was invited for an interview for 10 of them, which is a huge accomplishment. So why was he so widely successful? Because he thought beyond boundaries. He was really creative. He invented his own rules, really. And he set the playing terms on the table. He was the entrepreneur here. He was the creative. Okay, so think of really creative ways of how to come up with something outstanding that will differentiate you from the crowds. Okay, think about that. What can you do that will differentiate you? And create some ideas and write down these ideas, please. And try them out. You have nothing to lose. Just be radical. Be creative in your experimentations. If the company is really creative, adaptive, innovative, they will want to work with you. If I received donuts like these, donut CVs, I would definitely want to work with somebody like this. Definitely, I would hire him. So think of radical, creative ways, okay? This is another success story. He wanted an internship at the GQ magazine. So he created his own magazine, a special issue, which is the resume edition. So he created all the contents, turned them into a resume. And his CV is an actual magazine with 20 pages. All the accomplishments, courses, life, education, all of them are pages of this magazine, as you see. And this is widely creative again. If I were at GQ, I would immediately hire this person. And he got the job without an interview. Okay, so think of radical ways like this person. How can you really go beyond? Think outside the box. Here is another great example. Philip Dubost, he created an Amazon sales page. Okay, as you can see, you can add him to the cart. Only one left in stock, order soon. 5 years of working, entrepreneurial mindset. As you can see, product details, height is 186 centimeters, available for shipping anywhere, 3 languages, best marathon time is good. As you can see, education, everything, product description and professional reviews, which is amazing. I mean, I will definitely want to work with this person. Again, it's all about creativity, isn't it? So this is a creative CV. It is one of the most creative video CVs I have ever seen.
Hello, my name is Etienne and I was born in France. In a city whose cathedral copied my name. Also with a museum by Shigeru Ban. When I saw it, I thought, why don't I do the same? So I studied architecture, that's why I moved to Nancy. No, that's not a girl, that's the name of the city. I got my bachelor's degree, then I moved to Germany. In Leipzig, the new Berlin where I mastered my physics. Monster in a pocket, now I'm on the market. Rising like a rocket, let's go win some contests. I this competition living in the future. First right, what you can keep up game for architecture. Public award and a whole bunch of trophies that I cannot name all the song would last a century. While learning the basics in various offices, I've explored several parallel careers. From making and mixing cheese in Switzerland to drawing the local TV in Belgium. Then I worked for Sana on the set of the Louvre. And now for 4 years I've been working. It looks but it's time time to live. Denmark is on my list. I want to work for big. I know I've got the skill. My English is great. Mon français est formidable. My logic is super. Mais tant qu'il va faire de l'ego. I know AutoCAD, Rhinoceros, Grasshopper, and V-Ray. Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, and After Effects. I wanna meet God in his hip-hop ego. I wanna build cool stuff with Lego. Yes, I want that job and you can't say no. You're gonna say yes and I'm gonna say yo. Is more. Is more. Is more. Is more. Is more. Is more. Man, don't result on this occasion. I'm the very next step in this evolution. I can write a project if I'm in competition, but first of all, I'm gonna win is this application.
Okay, so if you come up with a video CV like this one, this will differentiate you from the whole crowds in an instant. You know, people, companies, they will want to work with you. See how cool this is? You know, like try to increase your cool factor. You can best do this through the power of your imagination and through the power of your creativity. So I want you to be really creative. And remember, you are only competing with yourself. You are not competing with your peers. Every one of you can be widely creative, and you can continue with your own journeys of creativity and productivity. Another video CV, I will skip this, you can click on it, but if you are into creative CVs, and you will also, you have the option of preparing a creative CV as your poster. We will talk more about posters in the upcoming days, but you can come up with a creative CV, okay? If you want to do a creative CV as your poster, then click on these links. I have provided 5 different links, and there are examples of really creative, cool visual CVs in these links. Have a look. If you want to come up with something like this, a creative CV, feel free. You can just come up with your own creative CV, okay, as part of your job application. If you don't want to do a creative CV, the second option is a mood board or a vision board. And if you go to Blackboard, you can learn more about your poster options. I have uploaded resources there, okay, about creative CV as well as the mood board, vision board. Whichever option, you will choose one of them, either the creative CV or the vision board. But do one of them, please, and attach it to your portfolio. So your job application portfolio will have 4 components. Number 1, the job advertisement. Number 2, your CV, updated CV. Number 3, cover letter. And number 4, your poster. Okay, so this will be your job application portfolio. Please try to create this as soon as you can, so that this part of your portfolio will be ready ASAP. Okay, so you can learn more about design and careers. But let me also talk you through the cover letter. Please work on your cover letter. How can you write an absolutely impressive cover letter? Again, I have written an article about this. Please click on the link here, okay? And you can access this article. Please make sure that you read this article. I give you a lot of tips, and I also give you a good checklist. Please make sure that you read it and incorporate these suggestions while you are updating your cover letter, okay? So please apply all these suggestions. So you start with a specific name. Never say, dear sir or madam. Always put a specific name or specific firm. It is not a cut and paste of your resume. It must be customized. Normally it should be 1 page, but you can go over to 2 pages if you want as well. If you want to get deeper on your evidence, 2 pages is also acceptable. Use bullet points to illustrate the fit of requirements. And always end the letter with your full name and contact details. A good cover letter is interesting, compelling, and focused. Make sure that you share your unique value proposition, unique selling proposition. What makes you unique? Grab the reader's attention from the beginning. Demonstrate why you are the perfect candidate and why you are uniquely qualified for this position among hundreds of others. Why should we choose you? Explain that with evidence. So this is an example. As you can see, it's a clear example, simple example, but you can see that there are 4 bullet points here. Each of them, these are the job requirements, and this letter provides evidence for each of them very clearly. So let's say this is the job description, okay, on your job advertisement. These are the requirements. They give a list of the job description and the requirements, right? So in your letter, please make sure that you give a good match for each of these requirements. How do you meet and surpass each of these requirements? For example, they want a bachelor's degree, right? And you say, let's say, I have a degree in a bachelor's, and here in this one, it says master's degree, whatever. So try to meet and surpass each of the requirements as much as you can. If you cannot meet the requirements, choose something else, okay? Choose an entry-level internship or choose an entry-level job. But the requirements should be things that you can easily meet, okay? So go for entry-level positions rather than advanced positions. So for each of the requirements, please make sure that you mention how you meet and surpass each of these. As you can see here, excellence is customer service. How did you resolve this? I initiated a smart employee feedback process. It resulted in 10% increase in employee retention, etc. So there is clear evidence for each of the requirements. So come up with clear evidence about each of your requirements on your cover letter. Here's another one. Requirements are here. And for each of the requirements, you can see the requirements in red, yeah? For each of the requirements, here, the cover letter offers specific evidence, okay? So you need to come up with specific evidence for each of the requirements one by one and make them bullet point. Make it for the recruiters to see and evaluate your offerings. What do you offer? Where is the evidence of fit? One by one, demonstrate the fit, okay? That's what is critical. So I've included other examples as well. This one is a bit controversial. Make up your own mind. You can read later. But here's a checklist. You can apply this checklist for your cover letter. So please update and bring your cover letter to our sessions for next week. Not to the seminar, but maybe to the lecture. Let's do this in the lecture. Okay. So your job as we finish this section is make sure you prepare your CV as well as cover letter. Okay, so please work on your CVs and work on your cover letter. Make sure that they are updated and customized. And choose your job advertisement. Make sure that you meet and surpass each of the requirements one by one. Make sure that you match these and surpass these through your own evidence. It's important that your CV and your cover letter should be updated and they match what are the requirements. Okay, so make sure that you match the requirements one by one, and please prepare them. Yeah, for next week, just the CV and the cover letter. Please update them. Choose your, no, you don't have to hand them in. You will hand in everything on November 12th, okay? But I want you to work on them. Yeah, you can see your A levels, by the way. I mean, especially if you have good grades on your A levels, you know, feel free to emphasize them. No problem with that. Again, the PDP time management grid, make them ready. You won't be submitting anything until November 12th. But I want you to finish these components regularly, consistently, so that you have everything ready by November. Okay, that's our goal. You can completely leave out your GC. Yeah, you can do if you want. I mean, whatever you want to focus on your CV, feel free to focus on those elements. But choose the elements that will show the strongest evidence that you have. Make sure that it reflects the best of your strengths, and make sure that you present evidence for your strengths. Make them specific. If the job advertisement expires, I mean, I would say try to choose a job advertisement which expires later on, if you can. If you can't, then you will need to make sure that you get enough feedback from me or Career Center or your advisors. Make sure that you get good feedback about your application package. Okay, that's what matters. That is the job advertisement. So you need to find a real job advertisement. Remember the cover letter section? I have shown you the requirements. Those are job advertisements. Make sure that you choose a real job advertisement, copy and paste it. Copy and paste it, put it on the top of your portfolio. You will customize everything on the basis of that job advertisement. So Callum, try to apply for jobs which don't require years of experience. That would be a better option, I think. Like, try to aim for entry-level jobs, like new graduates or still, part-time project work or internship. Go for these ones, entry-level ones, which don't require much experience. And I would also say try to make the most of your current experiences. Remember that you have a lot of experience that you don't necessarily think of putting on your CV or application documents. For example, if you have done volunteering, always put it in all the details on your CV. If you have, let's say, some student union work or student clubs, leadership experience, tutoring, you have tutored somebody. All of these are legitimate experiences. Make sure that you include whatever you have on your CV. Okay, make sure that you include all what you have, and make the most of what you have. Okay, so please work on your CVs and cover letters. One of the last sections of today will be the soft skills workshop. Let me share and come back to the soft skills. Yes, Charlotte, you can say that you have experience in the things that you learned in university. Say you learned some elements, skills, practice with some skills in your modules, courses, you can emphasize them. Let's say you have done some project work. Always make sure that you clearly present the evidence and Whatever you accomplished, make sure you mention them properly and in detail. Yes, please put the job advertisement in your portfolio along with the CV and the cover letter. So you'll put the job advertisement at the top, and then CV, and then the cover letter, and then the poster. So there should be 4 elements. Okay, make sure you put them all in the job advertisement. Okay, now let me go back to the presentation. Okay, let me actually share from here for a change. It will be easier for now. So let's go to the soft skills section. The last part of today is the soft skills session. Okay, so soft skills have become really important in your job. Let us start with this puzzle. What are the top 8 qualities of Google's top employees? So if we have a look, these are the top 8 qualities. Being a good coach, communicating, listening well, possessing insights into others' views, curiosity, empathy, good critical thinking and problem solving, making connections across complex ideas, and emotional intelligence. As you see, Google requires you to have a lot of soft skills, and these soft skills are becoming more and more important in the job market. Why? Robots are replacing jobs. We are entering an artificial intelligence revolution. To survive in this era, you need to invest in your soft skills. Why? Because jobs will be automated. Technical skills and knowledge will also be automated. Robots, algorithms, artificial intelligence systems will be able to do these jobs. So what will differentiate you in the long term will be your soft skills, interpersonal skills, and your creativity. Why? Because robots and computers cannot replicate these. And at Harvard, they have done some research, and they found that 85% of your job success will come from soft skills, people skills, interpersonal skills. 85%. This is huge. And when we look, employers think that students are not ready for the real world, for the job market. Half of employers say that graduates are not up to the job. Why? Because of lack of these soft skills. So let's do an exercise now. You will attend a mock job interview in a couple of minutes, okay? We will do this in groups of 4. 2 of you will be recruiters, 2 of you will be job candidates, okay? Your potential employers will ask you the following question. We will do this as a simulation, okay? Why should we hire you instead of 120 other applicants? You should respond to this question. Come up with a story to tell your potential employers. Why should they hire you instead of hundreds of others? That story that you will come up with should illustrate your soft skills. Please choose the soft skills, any mix of them. You can choose teamwork, communication skills, creativity, problem solving, leadership, or customer service. And I want you to write down in bullet form, write down this story. What was the setting? Who were the people? How did the event unfold? What was the critical incident? How did you resolve this problem? What were the challenges? How did you overcome these challenges? please think about one sample story that you can tell in the job interview. So you can think of yourself as the hero here. This framework, hero's journey, is very valuable. Something happens. There is a call to adventure. You jump into adventure. There is a problem to be solved. You jump into the challenge. You experience all these challenges, and then you transform yourself. You save the situation and you return home. So this is the hero's circle, hero's journey. I want you to see yourself as the hero and find your own story to tell. It should be an impressive story. Tell a story that will be impressive. Why should we hire you? Here's a sample. This is a sample story on team leadership. I decided to run as a leader to lead the school team for a national competition. My friends were worried the team lacked the motivation and skills. You are making a mistake, they told me. And I have seen that, yes, they were right. The team members were not motivated. They were not athletic. They lost every race. So 3 other freshmen joined me to challenge team members' attitudes. There was animosity, but we won the races. I was determined to persuade the team. I tried to create unity. I worked very hard to be a role model and a leader and to motivate, inspire all my team members. We believed in our shared goal, worked relentlessly. Eventually, we advanced to the national level, getting a 3rd place medal. The moral of the story is that when I was challenged to do the impossible, my devotion, character, team leadership, and tenacity persevered while helping the team. So this is an excellent story. This person is a hero, right? I would definitely want to hire this person. So come up with a story like this. Think about all your life experiences. Another story about customer service. I was a customer service representative in a video rental company. We had an irate customer who left 3 messages and angry. Come back to me, demanded. I listened to the customer. She was upset because she purchased a loyalty program membership, and several days later, we were giving away the same memberships at no cost. So I phoned the customer, apologized, asked her how I can help. She stated she wanted her money back. She would no longer be a member. So here's the crisis situation. There's a fire. How do you deal with it? The green part shows how he or she did it. I agreed her to refund her money. I then bought her a thank you card, enclosed her refund, and a free membership to our loyalty program. I also noticed during the phone, she was yelling at children, so I enclosed 2 coupons for free for kids. I thanked her for her business, apologized, and invited her to bring her in for a free rental. I enclosed my business cards, asked her to call me directly if she were ever disappointed again. She phoned me. She said, I received the card. That was and she told me that was the nicest thing anybody has done for her when she was upset with a business. So she became a very happy customer afterwards. You see the power of the story? I mean, she transformed the whole situation and made it upside down. And this is a remarkable story again. So what could be your story? I want you to write down your own story now in the next 2 minutes, please. Write down your own story. You have 2 minutes to do that. Just make some quick notes. Think about which you will tell, okay? And in bullet points, come up with your story. What did you do? Think of yourself as a hero. What was remarkable? in that situation? How did you save the situation? How did you act as a leader? What was impressive? Yeah, I'll give you a checklist and everything, yeah, in the upcoming days, in the upcoming classes. But check the module handbook. If you go to module handbook, you will see all the requirements there, okay? Go to the module handbook, read it. Okay, so please think about your story now. Come up with some bullet points, quick bullet points. Think about your best evidence that you can tell. What are the main points of your story? Please take quick notes and be ready to discuss. I will assign you to teams. Please finalize your story. Be ready to tell about it. And in the group work, what you will do is 2 of you will be recruiters and you will ask this question. What was the question? Why should we hire you? So here is the exercise. Why should we hire you instead of 120 others? Why should we hire you? 2 of you will be recruiters and ask this question, and 2 of you will be job candidates, okay? And you will tell your story. So be ready to share your story. It can be a short story. Like, don't feel intimidated. We are just learning, okay? This is your chance to experiment with this. And you can best do this through talking. So I want you to talk if possible, please. Why? Because you can practice much better if you talk. Even if you don't feel confident, just do your best. And for those of you who are in the job committee, interview committee, who are hiring, please try to help your friends, okay? Try to help your friends to get better. Give constructive feedback, and you will be acting as coaches, okay? How can they improve their story? How can you help them? Please help each other. After 2 people will tell their stories, you will give some feedback, yeah? And then we will change the roles. So the recruiters will now be the job candidates, and then the job candidates will be the recruiters in the middle, okay? So you will experience both of the roles. So in order to get the most from this exercise, please talk, okay? I want you to talk, open your voices and talk through. It will be much more effective. Okay, are you ready? I'm starting. You will be working in teams of 4. 2 of you will be recruiters. 2 of you will be job candidates. And then you will reverse the roles. Okay? Ready? Let's start. This is the best chance for you, the best opportunity to practice your interview skills. Let's do this. Best of luck to everyone. So please choose who will be recruiters and who will be job candidates. We need 2 volunteers for candidates. Who will be candidates? Who would like to start? Please tell your story. Hello, everyone. Just a reminder to all groups that, sorry for interrupting, but I would like to just remind you, this exercise, you'll benefit a lot if you interact and if you really talk. So if you can talk, please feel free to talk. Please make a contribution. This exercise is a very valuable exercise because it will help you prepare you for the job market. You are essentially developing your job interview skills, but we can only get benefit if you go beyond and really try to contribute. So we need some volunteers in each group. Please try to speak out, try to be courageous and share your story so that others will follow your lead. So try to act as a leader in your group. If nobody talks, this exercise will not give you benefit. Okay, in order to make this beneficial, please be courageous and be willing to be vulnerable and open up and share your stories with one another. And the best way to do this is through talking. Please keep talking. Okay, that's very important. If we want to get any value out of this, please, you need to talk. Okay, please do talk. I cannot control all the rooms. Okay, I trust you that you can be passionate professionals. If you do this right now, you will get the benefit and you will be much more prepared for the job market. So the choice is up to you, really. But my recommendation, at least one of you in the teams, please act as a leader, volunteer, share your story, kickstart the conversation and keep it going, please. Keep talking, okay? Please change the roles if you can. Make sure that different people are job candidates and try to help each other. Please try to wrap up your discussions, and then we will come back to the main room. Please wrap up your discussions. Okay, let's finish up our discussions. I'll finish with a core message, a video message. Let's come back to the main room and I'll finish in a few moments, okay? The last thing I would like to share is a video. So let me finish. Come back to the main room. So welcome back, everyone. Thank you for copying it. Yes, that is the link. If you haven't got it, let me, yeah. The QR code is there. I'll post it once more if you haven't registered yet, okay? So yeah, thank you, Sonia, for pasting it. But here is the QR code if you haven't finished this. Please finish it. Thank you. Okay, now I'll finish up with a video of interview tips with you.
So often we make business contacts by telephone, by email, through social media. It may be months or even years before we meet. When we do, we've made a good first impression, but then our body language kicks in. Does it help us or hurt us? Christine Yonke's going to talk about that with us.
I'm looking forward to meeting Deborah for the first time in person. And here are the things that I'll be looking for in terms of how I draw or form that initial impression. Number one, eye contact. Does she look at me directly? Two, what is the quality of her voice? Does it sound inviting? No doubt we'll shake hands, so I'll be feeling for the firmness of her handshake. And then finally, what does she say? What is her opening message to me? Can't wait to meet Deborah.
Well, I'm so glad that we could do this. I'd like to talk a little bit about the things that people do to help their case or hurt their case when they finally meet someone after making that connection by email, by phone, through social media. And when you and I spoke on the telephone, you mentioned that the voice is the one thing that carries over both from the phone to person. So let's start with that. And how does what people do with their voices help them or hurt them?
If there's any element of how we present ourselves that's overlooked by most people, it is the quality of your voice. But the starting point is knowing how you sound. Does your voice project confidence? Is the tone warm? Does it have resonance? Or on the other hand, could your voice etch glass? A common mistake, and it's not even so much a mistake, but it's more of just a function of nerves. If you are a junior person and maybe interviewing for a first job, it's not unexpected that you might speak more quickly. Your pace may be too quick. But to know that if you lower the tone of your voice a little bit, that literally adds more meaning to your words. A lower tone sounds more substantive, and what you're talking about sounds more important. So when you meet someone for the first time, I think the things that are really important are, number one, eye contact. So I was looking to see, would you look me in the eye? And you did. And that was a very positive signal. When you're talking about something that's really important to you, don't look away mid-sentence, but hold your eye contact until the end of the sentence or the end of the thought.
What if we need a little break to look down at some point? When can we do that?
Yeah, you do get to blink. Not blinking is a little zombie-like. That will look a little odd to the person that you're talking to. So absolutely, you want good, steady eye contact. What you don't want to do is the eyes up towards the ceiling, as if the answers are hidden there. Shifty eyes back and forth, darting, which makes you look very nervous. Or constant up and down. So good steady eye contact, you need to break away a little bit, and when you want to take a real pause, go ahead and look down in a substantive way.
How about our hands? The first thing we did was to shake hands.
You're sending a signal with that handshake. And there's nothing worse than someone who grabs a hold of your hand and hangs on too long and pumps and pumps and pumps. Or I think second worse, and I think women are a little bit more guilty of that, the little finger clasp.
Like a fish.
Just like or a cold fish at the worst, right? Not good.
And posture? What's the difference and what should we be doing?
Well, you want to have good posture just like your mother always told you to. The trick is to drop your shoulders back, and that will give you a nice presence. And then notice how I'm tilting forward from the waist a little bit. This is a very interactive posture. I'm signaling to you that I'm engaged. I'm interested in what you have to say, and again, it's conversational.
There's so much good information here. What's the one thing you would like people to take away from all of this?
Good steady eye contact and good posture, and you'll create a great first impression.
Okay, so as we finish this session,
give me 45 seconds and I'll show you how.
As we finish this session, I would like to wish you a great weekend. Thank you for your patience, everyone. You did really well in this class despite all the circumstances, and we are locked down in our houses. I think you have been really good and you have done really well. I really congratulate you for your efforts. I think in the upcoming weeks, we will have much more of the sessions where we will develop practical skills. And I will be guiding you with all the knowledge and perspectives that I have. I will be sharing them in the upcoming weeks. Hopefully, this module will help you to build all the life skills, entrepreneurial skills, employable skills that you need after your graduation. So we will be practicing them all. Thanks a lot for being here. And it is great to have you all in my class. Again, welcome again. And I will see you on Monday and Tuesday for our seminar. See you then. Have a great weekend and see you next week. Thank you. Thank you for your contributions. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.